first question is, what is the most compelling issue facing our district right now? And I'm going to just start with Austin, and you guys can kind of hop in.
Our most compelling issue is really lack of funding due to the economic situation. But there's ways that we can reprioritize what's most important for our budget. And the way that I would do that is by always reflecting the priorities of our community, school community. So the teachers, the parents, the students, I would always take their input, and that's what I would really determine on how I would make my decisions in this financial crisis.
You're going to hear probably funding from all four of us. And when you think that 85% of our budget basically is salaries and benefits to people, and then you throw in some utilities and some operating expenses for some buildings, and you buy some textbooks, you discover very quickly that you think you have all this control over a budget, but the reality is there's a very, very small slice that you have much control over. So the biggest thing we try and do is we try and look at absolutely every place we can be efficient, where we can be efficient. And for instance, energy efficiency initiatives, I know it's been mentioned, we've done great on our electricity. We're working now to see what we can do about water. We've just started now a recycled water program with DSRSD, and that should be going online for a number of our campuses here. We're even looking now and potentially seeing if we can put a water well would potentially be an option. So anything where we can potentially save money and use money more efficiently. And then also we're building partnerships. And for instance, right now we have a partnership with the city to resurface and replace the tennis courts, and so those are all going to be redone. And I was a tennis player in high school myself, so I always had a particular interest in the subject, and was able to work with the mayor, who happens to also be the tennis coach here, and we got that done, and so we're really happy.
Yeah, funny. I think this is going to be it. I think we've been living in a bubble for the last few years here in Dublin, and we have not felt the cuts like other school districts have. And I think this could be the first year, depending on what happens in this election, that we really suffer. And so definitely that is our most pressing issue, and I think it's going to take the whole community to come together and figure out how we manage it. Should Prop 30 not pass, or Prop 38, or any of those mechanisms that are provided to give us some money or not take any more money away. And also growth, which goes right in line with funding. I mean, like Greg said earlier, we are growing at half a school a year. And so our schools on the east side in particular are pretty impacted, and we need to ensure we want our kids in safe learning environments and optimal learning environments, and we're going to have to manage that growth. And again, that goes right in line with funding.
Water, no. It is funding, but the thing with funding, and Amy and Greg have mentioned this as well, is how do we keep this away from the students? The 6 years I've been on the Financial Advisory Committee, that has been the #1 thought the entire time. And then right behind that is, how do we keep all our teachers employed, all our classified staff employed? And our teachers have come to the table in the past, and so have our classified, and so have our administration. They took furlough days in 2010 and 2011. We were blessed that we got some federal funding, and we were able to give them that money back. But our teachers and our staff know that, they're the bulk of our expenses, 85% as Greg said. So we need to look at how do we find ways through partnerships, through looking at different ways of doing things, with at the same time still striving to increase our student learning.
I just wanted to add something that Dan made me think of, and it's in a recent conversation we've had, but our teachers haven't, had a cost of living raise in I don't know how many years, and that's one of the things that funding has also hurt. We can't help pay more so that they can cover their health care costs. I mean, there's a lot of issues that go along with funding, and that's why when whatever happens in this election, we're going to have to really take another look at everything and reprioritize.
Since we're in the spirit of that, in the free-form nature of this. Yeah, exactly. One thing I think is interesting, which also, I think we also need to be sure we express this appreciation to our administration staff. Because the administration staff, to give you an idea, over the last 5 years, the number of teachers in our district has grown 37%. But the number of administrators or administrator equivalents has grown 6%. So our administrators we're well below the 8% threshold that the state sets and audits every year that we're allowed to have for administration. And our administrative staff is really working a lot of very long hours dollars to support our teachers. And I think that's part of the overall mission of this district is we're all doing it to try and keep the cuts away from the classroom. Let's protect the teachers, protect the educational experience for the kids. And in that case, you know, the administrators are really stepping up.